means that it is that beautiful time when we take a look at all of the wonderful fragrances. Light check, there we go. All the wonderful fragrances that I picked up this week. But before we do that, I need to ask you all two questions, and I really do want your opinion on this. And the first question is, this is going to be a bit of a different video. Usually I unbox and unwrap and do all, the crinkle sounds and whatnot. That's not going to be the case with this video. I've already unboxed and unwrapped all of these just because I got them from all different places, and I didn't want to unbox like 8 different fragrances or 8 different boxes. So we're going to go through. Some of them I've even tested. Most of them these are going to be blind tests because I just prefer it that way. But I want you to let me know after this if you like this format or if you like the unboxing and the crinkles and the plastic wrap and that kind of stuff better. Just let me know. And then second, wanted to see if any of you would have any interest in a series of basically my weekly fragrance rotation. I don't know how much I'm going to still be buying up. I'm assuming it's going to stop at some point of me buying a lot of these fragrances. And so I'm thinking like past that time, if anybody would be interested in like my weekly fragrance rotation, because it's different fragrance every day. So please let me know that as well. And then, on the first one, you can even let me know, hey, I like this, I like the other way too. Maybe rotate, whatever. But if you can please let me know that, because you are very influential to the channel and how it grows and everything. So let's just get into it, shall we? This is gonna be such a good video. So I have either 9 or 10, I'm not sure, 9 or 10 fragrances, and gotta make sure the mustache is up. How do we even start? There's so many good ones. I'm gonna grab the first one, and this is actually, honestly, it's probably my favorite. This is one that I have tested, and this is, you look at the bottle, oh, that's Tom Ford. Close. You're close. I like the plasma. What about the top, the tag? There we go. That's nice too. This is Tobacco Touch by Maison Alhambra, and this is the same maker as what was it? The leather, Toscano leather. They made basically a 1-to-1 replica of Tuscan leather by Tom Ford, and to this day it makes me sick, nauseous, like straight nauseous. But that's not to say that it's a bad replica. In fact, these replicas are so good. They're basically 1-to-1 scale, and Tobacco Touch is a replica. Notice I'm not saying clone. It's not a clone. It is a straight up replica. To me, a clone is something that the makers do, but they try to change a little bit. A replica, in my opinion, is something that is supposed to be a 1-to-1 replica of, and this is a 1-to-1 replica of Tobacco Vanille. So, as you can see, it looks just like it, right? It looks just like the Tom Ford fragrances. It's got the bottle. We're talking about like $20 for this bottle. It's absolutely insane, especially compared to with Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. So right off the bat, you get hit with just a ton of vanilla. In fact, this particular fragrance comes on much more vanilla than Tobacco Vanille, much more feminine, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I really like it. Is this the most accurate clone of Tobacco Vanille? Maybe not, but I think that it actually improves upon it. And then I went ahead and brought a sample of Tobacco Vanille as well, pre-sprayed. Tobacco tobacco vanille is a lot spicier. It's a lot more tobacco. It's a lot more masculine. But same DNA, and it smells really, really good. Now, the thing that I love about this too, other than the price, of course, well, I love the tapping. It's got this plastic that makes it good. I like that. Is the performance on this guy is insane. The atomizer is really good, but one spray on the t-shirt, I think I was wearing a hoodie or something, and could still spray it still smell it like 22 hours later. It was unbelievable longevity for this guy. Tobacco fragrances typically have pretty good longevity from what I've seen, but that guy was incredible, and I've never given a 10 out of 10. I'm waiting for that one that just absolutely knocks my socks off, but that is easily a 9 out of 10, if not a 9.5. Go pick this up. It's like risk-free. It's so good. So 9 out of 10. I love it. The biggest problem that I have with it is that it looks like Toscano leather. So I need to make sure I don't grab the wrong one. Yeah, let's keep going. Next one is Valentino. So I actually made a short video on this. My favorite fragrance, I think one of my favorite fragrances of There's a Hair of all time is Born in Roma Intense, and actually I credit Born in Roma Intense and Yves Saint Laurent myself for my resurgence into this fragrance world, and never really tested out the other Valentinos, but I came across something that basically was a leak from a Sephora worker that said Valentino told them that they're canceling basically so many of their fragrances, and this is one of them. And supposedly this is like the last batch. I don't know if that's true. I really don't. I can't say for certainty, but I always wanted this one, and it's the fragrance with the absolute worst name in the history of fragrances, Yellow Dream. It's got that super cool Valentino bottle. One thing though, that mine actually came broken. So you can see this, I have to hold this down, pop the cap off, because that's cracked right there, and the whole thing will just come up, which is fine. You know, that's not why I got it, but it's a little annoying for a fragrance that costs like $150. So this fragrance I really wanted to get before it got discontinued. If in fact it is getting discontinued now, the green extravaganza that they have is super weird, and I don't really like it that much. The coral, the one that they have, is pretty good. I like that, but this one isn't. Oh my gosh, I told you, that's like, got some incredible fragrances this week, and this is one of them. Right off the bat, you get like this super sweet note of maybe a little bit of citrus, but just an overdose of ginger, and I love ginger. You're going to get hit with a little bit of floral notes, a little bit of excitement, energetic notes, citrus bouncing, and you're like, oh, well, this is interesting. This is a spring fragrance. Maybe this is maybe even a summer fragrance, but you'd be wrong, even though you can wear it in those times. When it settles down, the ginger comes to the top, and it smells very similar, like a gingerbread house, or more of like a decadent sort of fragrance. Yeah, right off the bat, Valentino fragrances I think have the greatest top notes. Great. Now, problem with this is also one that I've worn because I wanted to try it. I got me maybe 30 minutes to an hour out of this before it just became a skin scent, and I couldn't even smell it on myself. When it's hot outside, it seems to dissipate really, really quickly. I think I did 3 sprays, and within an hour and a half, I couldn't even smell it anymore. So all this stuff, it depends on what you spray. Do you spray it on clothes? That sometimes they do a much better job of holding fragrances and the oils better. And then, do you spray it on skin? Well, what's your skin doing? Are you sweating? What are your pores look like? Did you just shower? There's so much that goes into the longevity of a fragrance that it's hard to tell. But Born in Roma Intense probably has a 2 to 3 hour time frame for me, if not a little bit longer. But this is like an hour to 2 hours, and for $150 fragrance, you definitely expect more, which is why I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. But I'm still very happy to have it in my collection. Next. Guess for Men, and if this looks familiar, it's because it is. So, on a whim, I went to Ross the other day. I don't think I've even ever been to a Ross before, and someone told me that you could find some Mont Blancs there, and I was on a Mont Blanc hunt. Didn't find Mont Blancs. Found a lot of Guess. I found an Abercrombie, some Calvin Kleins, but I found this, and I was so excited about this. This is Guess Green. This is a gift set of the shower gel and the fragrance, and $20. Incredible. So I said, well, of course I have to get it. Now, it's only the 1.7 ounce fragrance, but I said, what the hey? Now, I'm going to keep that closed because I don't know how long those are going to go, but I have the fragrance right here. And for those of you who have not been with me very long, this is, I'll go on record any day, all day, saying this is one of the greatest spring fragrances that ever existed in this world. I'm actually awaiting, I ordered the brothers of this, the other ones in the set, the gold, and to see what those ones be like, because I love this one so much. But you see the G, very reflective fingerprint magnet. It does not rewrite the book, but what it does is it trades some of the more commonly held notes and it alters them. It's your typical woodsy, fruity, citrusy fragrance, but it takes wood notes like patchouli and cedar and oak or moss or musk, and it brings in like wormwood, like a note that your nose just doesn't recognize, and it just makes for a very, very unique fragrance. It reminds me of Green Irish Tweed, not the note profile or what it smells like, but just sort of like an iconic, the second that you put your nose to it, you're like, oh, that's spring. Like, it's spring to a beautiful, beautiful green fragrance. 9 out of 10. Easy 9 out of 10. Okay. Let's move on. Alt. This is Absolute Executive. Now, I've already recorded it. It's going to be released probably next week. It's going to be my review of this Cologne designer Alt. And this is my 7th or 8th one. And I guess it's a little bit of a sneak preview. I was impressed enough that I went back and I got another one. But stay looking at the channel. I think next Tuesday that one will drop. My review of a bunch of their fragrances, and I compare the designer scents with those to test for authenticity. And Alt is, again, a replica company. They're not interested in making clones. They want to make scale 1-to-1 replicas of these fragrances. And this fragrance, Executive, is their take replica of Creed Aventus. Now, Absolute Executive is their take of Creed Aventus Absolute. Creed Aventus Absolute was a limited run black bottle that cost $500. This cost, I think, $60. So it's already beaten it. Let's spray. Oh my gosh, the atomizer is so good. That wins best atomizer by far. Look at that. The paper's just like soaked. So, right off the top with Creed Aventus Absolute, you get a lot of the same note profile. You're hit right off the top with a lot of citrus, some smoky undertones, a little bit of spiciness. The one thing that's different from Creed Aventus Absolute, and by that same logic, Absolute Executive by Alt, is it's much more playful in my opinion, which is kind of weird considering the fact that it's in a black bottle, and a lot of times when fragrances would go to like a darker or a black fragrance, it's kind of like more of a nighttime kind of thing. I think this is the opposite. I think you have all of that same great Creed Aventus DNA, but it's just a little less smoky and a little bit more citrus, and where it's real heavy on the pineapple, Absolute tends to bring a little bit more citrus, like a lemon, into it. Really good. 8.5 out of 10. I've sprayed it on get 2 to 3 feet at least projection on it, and longevity is at least 7 to 8 hours. It's really, really good. So stay tuned for next Tuesday. I'll run my alt review and review a whole lot more and do some side-by-side comparisons as well. So stay tuned, everybody. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Really, really good. Alright. Super, super excited to show you these next ones. When I first ordered my first Halloween fragrance, I didn't know what to expect. I wanted to like it, and to say that I liked it is just such an understatement. And it was Halloween, man. I loved it so much. It reminded me of Paco Rabanne's 1 Million and Born in Roma Intense, which was supposed to allegedly copy off of that. Maybe a little bit of Invictus in there, but I really loved it. The fact that I could have a Paco Rabanne-ish fragrance for $20 just amazed me. And ordered Halloween, man. X has tonka beans, coffee. It's more of a deep, sultry kind of fragrance. It's something that is an all-day wear. The longevity is not as good, but it was pretty good. And there's a couple more that I got here to try out. And this first one is Hero. Halloween Hero. Interesting bottle. It's got like a blue to purple to yellow kind of thing. It's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put a nose on this guy, and I'll tell you what I think. So, cool bottles. I think this is probably the coolest bottle. Halloween. It's kind of just like really, really simplistic. And this is also, I think, one of the cheapest ones. So, let's see. Remember to shake it off, people, or else you're just inhaling a lot of alcohol. Oh, wow, okay. So right off the top, you're getting a super candy note, like super, 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 super fruity. Like, it smells like 4 different types of fruit in there. I smell the citrus, but I also smell something like a pineapple. I don't think it is pineapple, but it's almost like a melon. Yeah, those top notes very melon-esque, but it's like it's just super fruit. Super fruit. Oh, now as it evolves, it gets a little bit more soapy. It's super soapy right now. Clean, fresh, exciting, energetic. That's what I'm getting from this. Maybe a younger person's fragrance. I could see that as an all-day wear. Definitely spring. 100% summer. Maybe fall. Maybe fall. This could be a four-season fragrance. As it's evolving, it's turning to a little bit more smelling like a body wash. But definitely right off the top was just super, just every kind of fruit you can imagine. It's good. I don't think it beats Halloween X. I think Halloween X might have it for me. That might even be number 3, but it's only because the other ones are so good and not because this is bad. I'm not a huge proponent of that kind of feisty, energetic kind of sprays. I like things that have a little bit more depth to them, a little bit more nuances, some darkness to it. I don't know how else to say it, but 8 out of 10. And then that leads me to this other one, Halloween Man Mystery. Now, this is the darkest one. You'll have some fragrances that are black top, but like blue bottle, and then some are like black bottle, gray top, or something. This is all black, so this is what you can assume to be their night scent, the most sultry sort of night scent that they have. Let's test it out. Halloween Man Mystery, the one of the, if not the most expensive Halloween offerings. Let's give it a shot. I don't know if that one's been used. Let me grab another one. Some of these atomizers are so good, they're hitting my tester strips without even like being close to them. Alright, Halloween Man Mystery. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, it reminds me like if you all tried like Wanted and then you went like to Wanted by Night, it's kind of like that. Blue Seduction Black, like Mont Blanc, their nighttime fragrance. I can't remember what that one is, but it reminds me of that. It's just very spicy, very dark, doesn't project very well. You get like a bit of a top note of some fruit, I don't know, but it's pretty subtle, and as it settles you're getting more into woodsiness. Lots and lots of woodsiness, indiscriminate woodsiness. I can't pick out the notes. Maybe a little bit of musk or vetiver at the base. It's not bad. I don't like the fact that it doesn't project though. As Halloween Hero sits, it gets more soapy, but it's staying true to its core. I can't really smell this one, to be honest with you. I'll have to come back to that one. It's good, it's just it's not projecting for me, and I can't really smell it, to be honest with you, other than those couple notes that I had. So what I did smell is good. It just, I can't really smell it that much compared to all these flankers that we got here. Just great fragrances. I'll have to give that a 7, which is unfortunate. But it's just, I can't really rate something that I don't smell too good. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see sometimes when you get fragrances and you let them sit for a couple of months, they actually mature, and they're in a place where you can smell them much better, and they might even change their structure a little bit. So let's move on. last 3 fragrances that I have are part of a set that I really wanted to try, and it is from the House of Armaf, and it is Hunter, the Hunter line. It kind of looks like a frag grenade, I guess, or not a frag grenade, but a grenade or something. I don't know, I guess. But there's 4 fragrances in this line from men, and I have 3 of them. Why 3, you ask? Because I heard the other one was hot garbage, and that is the jungle one. I'll still get it. I heard that it wasn't very good, so I didn't want to start with it. Let's go ahead and put this on some paper. Armaf, one of my favorite Middle Eastern cologne houses. Hunter, like $22, $25. Cool. Lips are so chapped today. Whoops. Sorry, lips are so chapped today. Oh, that's really, really nice. Right off the top, you get like a super hit of bergamot. Maybe a couple of other types of citrus as well, like bergamot. Bergamot is a type of citrus. It's like a type of orange, but I also get like some lemon or some other types of citrus. Maybe a bit of a woodsy backdrop. That'll be interesting to see how that dies down. I had heard that it's an original. It's not a clone of anything, I don't think, but it has kind of the DNA of Sauvage. I don't know if I'm necessarily getting that. You could say that this has the DNA of like half of men's fragrances, with being heavy on bergamot, maybe some patchouli in the background, or some musk, some woods. That's like at least 50% of men's fragrances. So that's really good, actually. That's really, really good. I'd love to see this as a skin scent. I'm sure I'll bring this back in a future video and talk about it. Or not a skin scent, but on skin. Smell that. Hunter. This is Hunter Intense. Hunter Intense. $24, $25. And I think we're gonna give this an 8 out of 10. So doesn't knock my socks off. It does smell like a designer fragrance. It smells like something that probably should be $80 or $90 by Dior or Armani or something like that. It doesn't smell like a $20 cheapie. And if I know Armaf, the performance is pretty good. But obviously, I would have to test it to find that out. Okay, next one. This is Hunter. This is just Hunter. I think. Just Hunter. Eau de Parfum Hunter. I love the clear liquids and be able to see through it. I just think that's really cool. This is Hunter Spray Tan. I like that. Alright, let's try it out. Whoops. Atomizer on that guy went to like straight south. Okay, let's try this out. Wow. Right off the top, super hit, super punch of citrus. It actually smells like they used to say herba pura. Herba pura has these notes that they're non-discriminate, or I guess I don't know about discriminate. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for. They're non. You can't pick them out. You can't place them. It's just fruit. That's what this reminds me of. Oh, that's 100%. It's very similar. They have this where they say like green fruits or red fruits. This like smells 100% like just non-discriminate red fruits, like a cherry or a strawberry or something like that. That is better than Hunter Intense. I'll tell you that right now. It's got a smoothness to it. I wonder if it has vanilla in it. It has a very smooth dry down. It's not distinguishable though. Like, you're not like, oh, that's vanilla, oh, that's this, oh, that's that. As it's drying down, it's becoming more masculine, a little bit more bitter, almost like a woodsiness is coming through, just slightly. The red fruit is there for the tops and the mids, but it's not there as much for the base. That's delightful. I'd have to see how that performs after a couple hours. It's just getting more masculine as it dries down. That's an easy 9 out of 10 for me. That is really good. That's my favorite so far. Okay. Last one in the series, and last one for this video as well. And it is Hunter Killer, the newest. Oh wait, no, I think Jungle is the newest, second to newest. This might be the newest, I'm not sure. Hunter Killer. And then this one's even got like a little 9mm bullet on the back. And it's got this like leather canvas wrap. The bottles are really cool. The tops, it has a little notch that you can only put the bottle on some way. You gotta twist it till the notch lines up, then you can close it. Armaf did a really good job with this line. Hunter Killer, either the most popular or the least popular, because it is very difficult to find. So I don't know if maybe it just fell flat, or if everyone's getting it and that's why it's hard to find, or maybe it's even been discontinued. I'm not sure. But this is a clone. This is one of the first ones. It's actually like a clone, and it's a clone of Mancera's Red Tobacco. And if you're not familiar with what red means that it's taking a earthy tone. Like, for instance, I think one of the best examples is I believe Yves Saint Laurent's Black Opium over Red, one of my favorite fragrances. It's Black Opium, and then they put it over red, and the over red basically means that there's cherry notes in there, so it elevates it, and it's a Beauty and the Beast. Opposites attract. You put something that's very earthy, something that's very bitter, and then you put a red note in there, and it just becomes infinitely better. So that's the mentality behind Mancera's Red Tobacco, is you have tobacco comes on really, really strong, but then you also have these red fruits, which I think in red tobacco, I think this is more of a strawberry than a cherry. Like Black Opium is just like, I get straight cherry off of that. So that's what this is supposed to be like. Let's go ahead and spray it. Nice. Like it. But all of these fragrances around $25 to $30, so can't go wrong. And red tobacco, this guy, like 120. The intense version's even more than that. So yeah, right off the bat, you're definitely getting red tobacco vibes. And if you weren't with me last week, I reviewed red tobacco, and I had to take a few minutes. It was a blind sampling of red tobacco. I think it was probably one of the greatest fragrances that I ever blind sampled. That's really good. Now that kind of seems a little bit more like a cherry to me on the Hunter. Let me go ahead and spray Mancera, and we'll just compare the two side by side. Now this is the regular version, not the intense version of Mancera. Right off the top, it's just so in your face, like cigar shop tobacco. Whereas Hunter Killer is much more perfumey. It's fruity, it's citrusy. It's very light, it's playful. Red tobacco is tobacco. It's oppressive. It's in the best kind of way. It's earthy. It takes you into going into a pipe tobacco shop. It's literally what it smells like. With red tobacco, it's not until you hit the mids and the base that the sweetness starts to come in. Whereas with Hunter Killer, right off the bat, you have red notes, and then you also have tobacco, but it's much more geared to being integrated and well blended, and to that extent, not everybody likes red tobacco. In fact, it's a very divisive scent. I think what Hunter Killer tried to do was to make it less divisive. Use this same DNA, but introduce some other notes and lower the tobacco on it. And it's what it does, and it does it very well. Instead of being the star, tobacco is much more of a secondary player in Hunter Killer, where no one can accuse tobacco of being the secondary player in red tobacco. Is it a clone? Does it even come close? Not really, but I really don't think that it tried to. And if you're not a huge tobacco note fan, I guarantee that you'll probably like Hunter Killer better than red tobacco, because red tobacco is very strong on the tobacco. Hunter Killer is not. It's so good. And I can actually speak to this one because I did test this one out ahead of time, and easily 4 to 5 hours of longevity. Wonderful sillage and projection, 2 to 3 feet maybe, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, because this is such a divisive scent. You might walk into a room and people really hate the way that you smell, but if you like it and you want to rep it and you want to get into it to see if you like that same kind of DNA as red tobacco, not only is this a great start, but you might like it even more than red tobacco, which is something that I just did not think that I would do. So, yo, this was a baller. My hair's falling out. This was a great week as far as fragrances go, and Hunter Killer gets a 9.5, probably the closest that I'm ever gonna give to a 10, and I'm giving Tobacco Touch a 9.5, and I'm giving Guess a 9 because it's not for everybody. Valentino doesn't project as well, which is why it's at an 8. Yeah, for sure. I think so. The clones win this round. Tobacco Touch and Hunter Killer are my best picks for this week. Honestly, both have very similar seasons, and I wish I could have one that had different that they were in different seasons. Both of them would make a great fall fragrance. Early spring fragrance. Stay away from tobacco in the summer, and stay away from heavy vanilla in the summer. It's not good, and it's not going to end well. But of course, both of them being vanilla. If you are going to wear one in the summer or springtime, choose Hunter Killer, because at least there's some fruitiness there. But oh my gosh, it's so good. I think the worst fragrance that I had this entire week was Halloween Mystery, and it's not even a bad fragrance. It's just, it's so sultry, and it's so, I can actually, now that it's sitting, I can smell it a little bit better. Hold on, I have a hard time believing that Halloween would have a dud here. Not saying that this is a dud necessarily, but let me put it on some skin and see. Maybe it's just on paper I'm not getting anything. It's a good atomizer. Okay, I'm definitely getting more now. I mean, it's everything that I said before. It's like there's one fruity note at the top, but that's not the name of the game. And then the base notes, it's musky, it's woodsy, it's maybe some vetiver in there. It just doesn't project. It doesn't project, and it doesn't seem like it's going to perform that well. But if something happens in the future, I'm using it, and it does do good, I'll be sure to let you all know. So if y'all been with me this long, thank you. Please do let me know about those questions I asked, whether you like this format, or even if you want me to run through and do all of the testings and do performance listings, but you all let me know. And then do let me know as well if you want a weekly rotation video, because I'm happy to do that on like a Saturday or something that I don't normally schedule. So I'm happy to do that. Talk about the fragrances I use that week, at least 5 or 6 days, and go through that. So anyways, thank you all, and I will see you next time.